we're just gonna get right into it. You can tell by the title what this video is, but I thought we would have a fun little chit chat because I actually saw this Instagram post from someone on Instagram. Usually that's where you find an Instagram post. If I find it, I will show it to you. I don't remember who posted it, but I will put that information above. But it was basically about authors that they will not be reading anymore or that they should not subject themselves to any longer. So I thought it'd be fun to do a sit down video where we would talk about that one-on-one because we all have those authors we love. Of course, we have our auto-buys, we have the people that we want to return to, but I'm sure we all have those authors that we don't like reading from, or that we, one, refuse to read, or two, for some reason keep trying to read and it just doesn't work. So I wanted to sit down and talk to you guys about my little list. So let's just get right into it. So we're gonna start off pretty simple with kind of easy answers. You might find these on a lot of people's lists, you know. Number one, Colleen Hoover. I've read one of her books. I read Ugly Love. For some reason, I had no idea what to read at that time. So I picked up Ugly Love and it was Ugly Love. I didn't hate it, but like looking back, it was weird. It's a weird book. I'm not going to say the line that everyone knows about, but I'm not interested in picking up any of her other books. I'm not interested in her as an author. I don't like the things she writes about. We all know Colleen Hoover is just not really it. I think that's something that we can agree on. So yeah. Number two is Sarah J. Maas. This one might be a little bit more controversial. Not really, but people do still love Sarah J. Maas. People do still read her. They keep up with her releases. I mean, whenever they come out. But people like still claim her to be like their favorites. Like ACOTAR, Throne of Glass, Crescent City. Those are people's favorites. For me, they're not. So the thing about Sarah J. Maas is I've tried reading her. I have read the first book in all of her series. Unfortunately. I've read ACOTAR, I've read Throne of Glass, and I've read Crescent City. Howeeb, House of Earth and Blood, as me and my friend have called it lovingly in the past. These two, they're not awful. They're just kind of the usual schlock of romantasy. Obviously, they kind of created the current trend, the current landscape of romantasy as a genre, but they're just fine. I didn't care about the characters, didn't really care much for the world building, didn't care much for the romance either. I think the most I've cared for a romance is probably Crescent City. It was just actually a little interesting. I don't know. I barely remember these books, to be honest. I wiped them from my memory after reading them, but Throne of Glass, I hate this book. I have beef with this book. This was a 2-star read. It is so bad. And okay, people love what they love. People may feel what they feel. You guys are allowed to like these books that I mentioned. Not that I have any authority on what you're allowed to like, but I don't have a problem if anyone likes these books. My best friend has liked these books. But Throne of Glass, Sarah J. Maas started this series, or at least wrote the first draft of Throne of Glass when she was 16. And it shows very much in this first book. And I know people say it gets better, like the third book is where it really kicks off. I don't really care to support Sarah J. Maas or read her books anyway, so I'm not going to try to like her series. If there's a possibility that I will like her series, that's great. I don't need to know. So I refuse to read any more of her books. I will maybe watch a spoiler reading vlog for a new release of hers, or like a deep dive into any of her upcoming books, because the hype, the love around it is still very interesting to me. I'm a curious girl. I get a little bit of FOMO. That's why I read these, but I'm kind of trying to not do that. But like, I'm still probably gonna do it in the future, just not with Sarah J. Maas. Who should we say next? Okay. Next one's an easy one. Next one's an author I have beef with. And I know I said I had beef with Throne of Glass, but I actually have beef with this author. It's one-sided beef, but I have beef nonetheless. And that's Riley Sager. This is another author who I've read 3 books from, and with each book, it's just gotten worse and worse and worse. I hate Riley Sager. I don't like his books. I don't like his philosophy. And by that I mean he writes under a pseudonym that is gender neutral. The first time I ever heard about Riley Sager, I thought he was a woman. If this is your first time finding out Riley Sager's a man, I'm so sorry. But his name is actually Todd. Yeah. He writes under a pseudonym that is gender neutral. so that he could pass as a woman or potentially make people think he's a female writer, because when I started reading him, all of his protagonists were women. His last couple of releases, I think, have been male protagonists, which I'm like, sure, but I haven't heard the best things about his last few books, even from his fans. So who's thriving? Him, because he has the book deals, but that's not important. So let's talk about the books of his that I read. The first book of his that I read was Lock Every Door. The second one that I read was Home Before Dark. And then the third one that I read is House Across the Lake, which I actually read/finished that in a reading vlog last year called Finishing Books I DNF'd, because I DNF'd that book because I stopped caring about it. And then I finished it, and I shouldn't have, because it was actually truly insane. Bonkers. So each book of his has gotten worse, but like one of the things that also pisses me off about his writing is that he has female protagonists. All of them have like these surface level comments or themes about sexism and misogyny, and I'm like, this feels like it was written by a man who has never experienced these things. And I don't have a problem with men writing female protagonists. I like Grady Hendrix, and like all of his protagonists are women, and I don't mind it. I think he does a good job of it. Like, maybe he's not perfect, but I enjoy it. I don't have beef with him. Actually, we're besties. We're besties. With Riley Sager, it feels like it's a woman written by a man. I just can't get behind it. And then his plots are like fine. Lock Every Door was the first one that I read, and when I kind of started to like take issue with him, because I was like, this isn't really anything that interesting. I didn't find the twist that crazy. I don't vibe with his writing style. I think it's so basic and it's not anything strong or good or impressive or new. So I'm not missing anything by not reading from him. So that's the main thing, but also he pisses me off and we have beef. Next author is going to be Ashley Poston. Don't know how to say her name. This actually is kind of in a similar vein, not really as Riley Sager, but because I ended up reading or finishing the book of hers that I've read in the Finishing Books I DNF'd video. That's The 7-Year Slip. Yeah, I did not like this book. I did not like the humor. I did not really care for the romance, and I just did not like the writing. The writing had its moments. I don't think she's a bad writer, but the structure of the story, the plotting, I did not vibe with this. And like I said, I hated the humor. Like, genuinely, the humor grated on me so strongly. I did not find the book funny. And the things that were done to try and like show a connection between the two main characters, I didn't really believe. I was like, we're not building any connection here. I did not like this book, and because it is literally her most popular book, and like when people love her books, 7-Year Slip is like their favorite. People say that this is her best one. And if I didn't like this one, I'm gonna hate the other ones. So I will not be reading any more of her books. Like, I just truly, nothing against her, didn't work for me. There's no point in me trying to read any of her other books, since her most popular book and what some people deem her best book, I did not enjoy. So I don't have interest in reading any of her backlists, any of her new releases. I will just look at the covers and judge them, because I like to do that. Next. Next one is going to be Marcus Cluyer. I don't know how to say his last name, but this is the author of We Used to Live Here. I read this book at the beginning of the year. It was the first book I read this year. And my cat is messing with something on the top of my desk, and I don't appreciate it, and he needs to stop. This was the first book that I read this year, and I just kind of was like a little slumpy. I was like, I don't know what to read. So I picked it up. I was enjoying it. I liked the beginning. I was intrigued by the premise. I thought it was a little spooky. A lot of people that I watched and heard about it from loved it. So I was expecting something that I would really enjoy. But by the time the end came along, I was no longer along for the ride. I actually fell out of the car, because this, if you don't know the backstory of this book, apparently it started as an r/creepypasta story. And I gotta say, the end fully devolved, and it felt like I was reading a Reddit thread. Like, it felt like a creepypasta, and I'm sorry, all creepypastas kind of have the same vibe, because everyone's just trying to one-up, do something crazier, and it just didn't work for me. I would read creepypasta sometimes. I was not a frequenter of the r/creepypasta subreddit, but I would read some of them. And I would be like, oh my god, this is so scary. And then be like, oh, someone just kind of made this up. Which, like, is books. But for some reason, creepypasta is, like, worse, because they're, like, kind of trying to pretend like they're real. I did not like the end of this book. Like I said, I think it just went a little too crazy for me. And because of that, I'm not really interested in reading anything else of his. I think it's possible that maybe I will pick up another one of his books, but the beginning wasn't really anything so special that I feel like I'm waiting for a book of his that will work for me. Like, I'm not waiting for my favorite from him. I'm kind of okay. The next one is going to be V.E. Schwab. And here's the thing. I have actually enjoyed V.E. Schwab in the past. The only book of hers that I've enjoyed, though, is Vicious. I did read Vengeful, and I didn't dislike it, like, entirely, but as a whole, I kind of don't... Like, it's not necessary as a book. It wasn't, like, offensive reading it. The story was fine. It just, like, wasn't necessary to me, because I thought Vicious was great as a standalone. And I really enjoyed Vicious. I think I gave it 5 stars, but I also read it in 2020 when I got back into reading. So I would need to give it a reread to see how I really feel about it. But I did really enjoy that book. Vengeful was just fine. It just wasn't really needed. We focused on other characters that I was like, I don't even know who you are. I don't know who that man is. But otherwise, I feel as though V. Schwab is quite overhyped. But I also understand people have their people have their different opinions, of course. So, like, that's that. I just don't fully get it. I read A Darker Shade of Magic. That book was so nothing for multiple reasons. The characters were, like, so bland and two-dimensional, and they fully felt like they were made for Tumblr to, like, thirst and love. Like, maybe if I were in middle school, I would have liked A Darker Shade of Magic. These characters were so basic and so quirky. I could not. I didn't care. The plot was fine. I didn't find the whole multiple Londons thing that interesting. There was one plot point that I found interesting in one character that I was like, okay, you are kind of T. But as a whole, no. Nothing about it redeemed itself, especially the end. Nothing happened in the end where I was like, I need to read the next book. I need to know what happens. It kind of just ended. Otherwise, those are all of the V.E. Schwab books that I've read. But from what I've heard about The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, I don't think I would like it. And I was so excited for that release. I literally bought that book like as soon as it came out. And then I lent it to my best friend and she did not like it. And she told me all the reasons why she did not like it. And I was like, I no longer want to read this. And the more I hear about The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, I'm like, I'm okay. I think I'm actually good without it. And then Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. Good for her. That's all I'll say. Okay, last one. And this is probably the most controversial one. Like, actually. And I have my reasons. And I will say, I don't hate all of these authors. Only Riley Sager. Maybe Sarah J. Maas too. But anyway, this last author is very well loved. Please don't hate me. I don't hate you if you enjoy this author. Don't hate me. And I don't hate this author. I don't even hate their books. I just will give my reasoning. The last author is R.F. Kuang. R.F. Kuang has a little bit of an asterisk because I maybe will read The Poppy War. I do have it, so that's one reason why I should maybe read it. But I do not see myself continuing to try to read R.F. Kuang because I have read and DNF'd Babel. I have a couple reasons for that, so we'll get to it. But I've also read Yellowface, and I didn't hate it. Like, I didn't hate these books. But I will just say I don't think R.F. Kuang's style works for me at all. And I kind of have, like, my qualms with R.F. Kuang. Okay, poet. My qualms with R.F. Kuang are pretty much what a lot of people have said before. So it's not anything new. So we'll talk about Babel, because Babel is the first piece of work of R.F. Kuang's that I've tried to read. And a couple things about that is I picked it up when I was kind of trying to get out of a reading slump. I was very excited for it because I heard so many good things about it. I was very excited for the dark academia, the fantasy, the everything about it. And when I started, I was really enjoying it. I liked the writing style. I love a story set in like Victorian London. I was excited. I was into it. I was down to clown. I was down for the ride. But as the story kept going on, I kind of started to realize that I just was not really connecting with it. And that what a lot of people have said, and I felt this way, especially with the footnotes in Babel, is that a lot of the points that R.F. Kuang was making with that story and the three themes and conversations that were being had were repeated over and over and over again. And I was like, yeah, I get it. I know. I agree with you, girly. Colonialism is bad. these things are bad. You don't have to explain to me that one, this section is about colonization, and two, that it's bad. I know it is. And I will get that in your story and in the theming and plot of this book. I got it. Another thing about it is I found it kind of hard to connect to the characters and the relationships that were being or attempting to be built, because there weren't really a lot of like scenes. There were scenes, but like with like the friendships being built, and maybe this is something that I missed, but I felt like the friendships that were trying to be built, like I know one thing. I know one thing about the friendship group that is like not good. Like I know that. But in general, otherwise, the relationships and dynamics that were like trying to be built, I wasn't seeing it. I was kind of just being told we were besties now. We were doing all these things together and we were hanging out. I want to see you guys hanging out. I want to see you guys connecting and all of that. So I didn't see that. And maybe, again, that was done on purpose, but it just didn't like work for me. But the main big thing is the writing style and the way that what R.F. Kuang is trying to say with her stories was being handled, or was handled. Because I just don't think she trusted me to understand what she was trying to say. And I'm like, girl, I got you. I have a college degree. Yeah, I know I don't have my master's. I know I didn't go to freaking, where did she go? Oxford. And what's the other one? Cambridge. I know I don't have my master's, but I promise you I'm not stupid. So I didn't love it. And then, like I said, when I started reading the book, I was trying to get out of a reading slump. So by the time I got to a point where I was like, I'm not feeling this book, I DNF'd it. I could have finished it. I think if I picked it up at another time, like I would have been able to finish it. So that's that. That's why I DNF'd it. It's not like a bad book. I understand why people love it. I just really did not connect with it. Yellowface, I really enjoyed for the most part. I thought it was really entertaining. I thought the plot was like really fast paced. Like I was down to clown. And I keep saying that, but I was. I enjoyed it. I read it really quickly, actually, too. One, I do agree with people's criticisms that it does go on a little long, like it could have been a little bit shorter. But my other thing about it is that the way R.F. Kuang wrote about the Asian author who, I mean, I haven't explained the plots of like any of these books, but the way R.F. Kuang wrote about, I don't remember her name. I don't remember anyone's names in this book. It was very obviously a way of her talking about the criticisms that she gets, because the author in the book has the same criticisms as her, has a lot of the same privileges that she has, that have been like talked about against her, I guess. Like I know it's satire and it's okay for her to like do that, but as I was reading it, it kind of just felt like a way of dismissing or laughing at people's criticisms instead of working on them, which she doesn't have to change the way she writes for other people because it works for a lot of people. She doesn't have to change for the people who don't enjoy it, but it just kind of felt like a way of belittling the people who don't like her books or don't really enjoy what she writes. And I didn't love that. I thought the story itself was really interesting, but I didn't love the whole self-insert-y thing about it. So yeah, the last thing I'll say is I don't think I'll read anything else of hers, especially not new releases. If anything, I'll pick up the Poppy War, see if I want to read that trilogy. I don't know if I will, especially because I think I'm moving away from high fantasy. Maybe I'll come back to it one day, but right now I'm not really in like a high fantasy mood. But Catabasis, I don't think I would like that book. I really have had zero interest in ever picking it up. Like, I just knew I wouldn't want to read it because I haven't had the greatest experiences with R.F. Kuang's writing. But, I just watched Plant-Based Bride's 3-hour video reading Catabasis. And seeing what she said about it, she had a bunch of spoilery sections, and because I knew I wouldn't read it, I watched the video. I watched everything. So I was like, yeah, no, I would not like this book. I would not. A lot of the same, because Plant-Based Bride, Elizabeth from Plant-Based Bride has had the same qualms with R.F. Kuang as I have. So I figured we would probably feel similarly. But like a lot of the issues that I had with Babel are present in Catabasis and worse. Yeah. So I don't think I would like that. There are a lot of other things going on in that story that I just do not think I would enjoy. That's all I'm going to say because I'm not going to spoil that book. I didn't even read it. But I know I wouldn't like it. There's no point in me subjecting myself to a book I'm not going to like. I think that's it. I do have a few like semi-honorable, dishonorable mentions. Because these are also people I might pick up books from again. But I kind of have not had great experiences with them recently. So very quickly, we'll go through them. Catherine Center. I read The Bodyguard. Thought it was like a fun, dumb Hallmark movie in a book. So I was like, oh my god, okay. Thanks, Catherine Center. So I figured I would maybe pick up another book of hers in the future, but I And it's not needed. And I keep picking up light, stupid romances because I'm like, they're so easy to read, but I'm not enjoying them. They're not something that I care about. Like, I may pick something up if I'm really like, I need something mindless. Sure, I could. Next is Ashley Winstead. I read In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, really enjoyed that. And then I read her new release earlier this year, This Book Will Bury Me. Listened to the audiobook and I found it very interesting and propelling, and like, I could not put it down. I read it very quickly. But I also was like, this is actually kind of not great. This is actually kind of not that good. But I still like enjoyed it. And then I got an ARC for her new release coming out in January, The Future Saints. Did not really like that book. So I may try her again in the future, but each book I'm like, maybe I don't enjoy her. I can't tell. Jessa Hastings. Hey, give it up for Jessa, our AI queen. Yeah, so I don't love Jessa Hastings' writing. I've tried reading Magnolia Parks, Daisy Hates. Also, she was featured in the Finishing Books IDNF video. Didn't love. I did read The Conditions of Will when it came out, mainly because it was on Kindle Unlimited. Only because it was on Kindle Unlimited, actually. And I did kind of enjoy it. I enjoyed it the most out of her other books, but yeah, AI Queen. I don't know if I'll read another book of hers. I might, just because I kind of enjoyed The Conditions of Will. But as a whole, like, I don't care for her. I don't care for her books. I don't care for her writing. I don't care for her characters. That's that. There's one chapter in The Conditions of Will that is literally 5 stars for me, but that's it. That's it. Next is actually a little bit unfortunate, and that is Annabelle Monaghan. I'm not sure if I'm going to read any more of her books. I read Nora Goes Off Script, and I really, really enjoyed that book, but I think she's a one-hit wonder for me. Because I read Same Time Next Summer, and I was like, don't care. And then I read a lot of summer romance, and I could not get into it, and I did DNF it. And I kind of, like, I wanted to finish it, but I'm like, I don't think I care. Like, I just don't think I care. So, we'll see. We'll see. That's it. That's my little listicle. I really hope I didn't offend anyone with this video. I hope you enjoyed watching. And please, genuinely, if you like these authors, all power to you. I do not judge. Enjoy what you enjoy. They did not work for me. They did not, and they do not work for me. So, that is that on that. And I'm done talking about it. Maybe I'll talk positively about authors another time, but yeah. All right. Thank y'all for watching. Please sound off in the comments, but do not be mean to me. Please don't be mean to me. I would really appreciate you not being mean to me. Please and thank you. Don't hate me. Okay. Bye.